We're here with the manager of the football team, Mr. O'Shea, and Al's going to ask a few questions, and Darren and myself might butt in.
Thanks, Keith. As Keith said, I'm here with the manager of the senior football team, Mr. O'Shea. He led us to what most definitely our most successful campaign in soccer in the school, and I'm here today to talk to him about our difficult journey to the final. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Al. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Well, as being part of your squad, I know a lot of details, but this is to talk to the public in general about what details I don't know. Our first game was against Mo, and we won that game 3-1. It was a fairly easy game in the first half, but the second half was very uphill then. The performance was good, but do you feel that in that game there was many roadblocks?
I suppose it was largely the first stage, the first launching pad. I'd just like to say, first of all, I had the luck to manage such a good group of lads, and it was largely, I just facilitated everything. That it was the lads themselves who did everything right throughout the season. You know what I mean? Largely I'm just there as a sort of overseeing role, but the sort of endeavour and the sheer will and determination has to come from inside the lads themselves, and this particular group of lads did that and rose to the occasion every time and showed remarkable spirit throughout the season. Moat, I suppose, traditionally would be a Gaelic football stronghold. They were actually coached by the Desi Dolan, the famous Westmeath footballer, but they were a good side. They weren't a bad side. But I always say it, Templeogue College has some great soccer players, and I think we need to harness that. And there's a great football tradition in here if we harness it. And I believe Templeogue College as a school can be really successful in soccer and Gaelic games in the future.
There's no doubt about it that Mo was a very good first draw, because it did everyone find their feet. Now, the second round, Drogheda away, that was one of the most difficult games of the whole tournament.
Yeah, I think if you're looking back at the definitive stage in the season, you'd look to that day in Oliver's at Drogheda, where you almost went into the sort of stronghold of football that Oliver's is, and you literally came out with a result. Okay, it was a hard fought victory. In the end, we won 8-7 on penalties, I think.
8-7 on penalties with 10 men.
With 10 men. Yeah, so it was your classic sort of battle of attrition up there. They had the whole school out watching the game. We were starving and outnumbered, but literally came to the fore in the end. But it was a hell of an occasion. I remember the emotion for myself. You might say it's an inconsequential schools game on a Friday afternoon, but in all my sort of sporting activity, it was that defining moment where you said, Jesus, this is great. This is part of it. And in terms of bonding the lads, in terms of building a structure, you couldn't replace it, and we were just lucky enough to come through in the end. But you make your own luck. It comes from inside, deep within.
That was our only away game in the tournament. Like usually home games were Benildis and Athlone, and then the semi-final and final were at a neutral venue. The match against Benildis was, one could argue, a very scrappy game. It was 50-50 the whole time, but yet we came out with the result.
Yeah, Benildis were a very strong team, very fancied throughout the tournament. One mistake by their defender, I don't actually remember the specifics of the game. I suppose when you're embroiled in it, when you're on your knees before the event, you don't notice things so much. I remember their defender made a mistake with about 6 or 7 minutes to go, and I felt very sorry for him because he had been immense throughout the game.
The keeper eventually in the end who got lobbed, he was very emotional toward the end of the game, but that is football.
Yeah, most definitely. That's sport, and that's the joys of it, the vicissitudes. We go from the agony to the ecstasy.
We went into our quarter-finals against Athlone, again home, and they were hot favourites.
Yeah, they would have been hot favourites for the whole tournament. Really fancied. Funnily enough, managed by another former Gaelic footballer, inter-county Gaelic footballer, Donegal guy. Athlone, I suppose, traditionally would have a great sort of reputation in school soccer, and now also Gaelic football. They actually won the Leinster Senior Gaelic football title. They had a number of Irish internationals, hotly fancied. Literally we met them with steel, and I don't think they were actually expecting the level of intensity from Templeogue College. I think they almost felt that they had to come and just basically get the result, and it was going to be an easy affair. But in terms of the raw, sheer will, that was another sort of great day along the road.
Well, we had plenty of friendlies to warm up for. There was immense training that happened during the Christmas weeks off. But I mean, as a whole, we put in a great performance as a team rather than a team of individuals.
Most definitely, yeah. There was, if you look to the squad that was there, you had 22 guys, and then say other guys who were involved, 23, 24 guys who were just immense in every regard.
Kieran Fadden, most definitely.
You could name anybody. You could name right throughout. You could name all 23 that they added that extra spice in their own way. And in terms of the togetherness and spirit, which is the core fundamental of any success, these lads had it.